Welcome to our practice of Nirvana Is Now. And if you wish to light a candle to start, a candle represents fire, Agni, and we'll use that to orient ourselves. Please make this be your yoga, so you should feel no pain and honor your body in terms of whatever it needs during our practice today. So let's start by coming to our backs in starfish pose. You're going to lie on your back and outstretch all the limbs of your body. And I'll show you this as we get started. So move into every transition really gently and purposefully. You can spread your legs wide on your mat space, and you can also open your arms wide, creating the 5 limbs. And feel your body settling in as your starfish. And I'll start our practice with 3 sounds of the bell. And imagine that your starfish body is swimming in the ocean. It's just peaceful. You can feel the coolness of the water. Nirvana, which is a Buddhist principle, is similar to Moksha in the Hindu tradition. It means emancipation, liberation, enlightenment, and can traditionally be thought of as a release from the cycle of death and rebirth. So whatever your belief system today, we're going to explore a release from suffering in this life, Jivanmukti. This includes psychological liberation from fears and untruths. I'll join you in starfish pose. So imagine that the water around you is cool and refreshing. Can you float and let the 5 limbs of your body rest here gently, settling in. Scan your entire body from crown of head throughout all the 4 other limbs. And notice if there's any holding. See if you can let yourself Relax safely into the ocean here, remembering that you have all the conditions that you need to be happy. Let your fears float away into the sea. Anything that distracts you from your true self, can you release it now with gentle compassion? Thich Nhat Hanh reminds us that Nirvana is now. It can be in this moment. He writes, Nirvana is a pleasant state of coolness and freshness that we can all touch in this very life. And throughout our practice today, we're going to do some balance of heat and refreshment in our physical bodies to help remind us that happiness can be now. So when you're ready, we're going to bring a little heat to our belly area. And you can bring your arms behind your head and extend both legs. And take a deep inhale and exhale. And now raise your left knee and your right elbow. And do this consciously, and then switch left knee, right knee to left elbow. And focus on this bicycle movement, but being very purposeful, pointing your opposite toes outwards, opening your elbows wider. So less of a crunch movement and more of a lift and extend. Breathing deeply, cradling the back of the neck. And starting to feel the Agni or fire in our bellies. Let's just do this a little bit longer. Awakening the core muscles. And then now bring your arms to cradle the back of your head, and your knees can remain up. And we're going to cross our right knee over our left, and then grasp the opposite tops of feet. This is cow pose upside down on our backs, a supine posture. And we're starting to open up the outer edges of our hips. Breathe into the sensation. What do you feel? What do you notice? And now bring both knees back to the center and wrap your left knee over the right. Each side of your body will be different, so you may even have a little trouble reaching the tops of your feet on one side. And just do your best. Breathe into the sensation in your body, remembering you should not feel any pain, but this might be a strong sensation. Bring your breath to where you feel the stretching. And now see if you can roll yourself up to a seated Sukhasana posture. This is easy pose. Our legs are crossed. And take the foot that naturally came in the front and tuck that one behind. Feel free to put a blanket under your hips to rise yourself up a little if you'd like. And now we're going to make a V with our fingers. So your middle finger is going to come over and touch your index finger, and your fourth finger and your pinky will touch, and you'll make a little V on both hands. And tuck that V around your ears so that your palms are going to be cradling the base of your jaws. And now do a soft little jaw massage, circular motion. We hold a lot of tension in our jaws. And ask your body what pressure level would feel good to release any tensions. Be careful of your neck area, so you don't want to be pressing on your neck. Soften around the thumb. And just massage out your jaw. You might wish to traverse from the chin and all the way back up to the jaw area, and you might wish to just use a finger very gently in a circular motion. But ask your body what would feel best. Very nice. Now, if you wish, and again, you can use a blanket under your knees for extra cushion. We over-index on comfort. But we're going to, you can stay in seated posture, or you can come onto your knees and let yourself rest back on your feet. So I'm sitting back like this, but you can also stay in Sukhasana if that's better for you. Our pranayama for today is going to be alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana. And this promotes positive respiratory and cardiovascular function. This is a very nice pranayama to do if you ever feel really over agitated or dysregulated. This breathing pattern will restore you. So let's start with bringing our left hand to our left knee and just let it rest there gently, open and receiving. You can choose a mudra if you'd like to choose one of the elements, like water for the pinky finger, or Prithvi, earth for the fourth finger, whatever you'd like, or you can keep your hand open and resting. Maybe just let your left hand choose what it wishes. And now we're going to take a deep inhale and exhale fully. So inhale through your nose and exhale and let it all go. And now close off your right nostril with your right thumb and inhale through the left nostril. And then close off your left nostril and exhale through the right. Inhaling through the right. Closing off and exhaling through the left. Inhaling through the left and closing off. You can use whichever fingers feel right. And exhaling. Inhaling. Close off. Exhaling and inhaling. Feel the left nostril and exhale. Inhaling through the right. Feeling. Repeating this pattern for a few moments. And don't stress or fret if you lose your spot and you're thinking, am I supposed to be inhaling or exhaling? Let that go. Let the quest for perfectionism go. And see if you can draw into the natural breath rhythm. This pranayama takes concentration, which will distract your mind from whatever fears or worries were going on. And now let that go. And if you've been on your knees, swing your feet around. And wherever you are, we're going to now start with a little hip opening. And you might wish to have a block nearby, but it's not necessary if you don't have that. You can always improvise. So we're going to bring our feet to the mat in front of us. And we're going to start to let our knees come from side to side. It's like a windshield wiping motion. And you can have your hands tented behind you. This is actually one of my favorite movements, so you'll notice I bring this into a lot of classes. And I'm going to remove my socks at this point to make things a little easier, and also you might start to feel a little heat, so I'm going to take off a layer. And so pay attention to your temperature of your body. And now let's let the knees fall to the right. And we're going to bring our hands in front and do a little bit of hip circling. So using the torso to circle gently in one direction and maybe the other. Playing with the pause. So if you find a place that feels good, you might want to pause there. Remembering that less is more. So you can make this your own, engaging the shoulders if you wish. And now take your block, and you can have it facing up or down. And you're going to come down onto your block and use the edge to press on the third eye. And if you don't have a block or you wish for a different feeling, you can also use your thumbs and place those, the knuckle of the thumb under your third eye, onto your third eye, which is the spot right between your eyebrows. But see if you can create a tiny bit of pressure here. And it might feel good to slightly gently roll your head from left to right, massaging the eyebrow space. This place is tender, so let's not overdo it. And whenever we're moving our head from left to right, we want to go really slowly so that we don't invoke any vertigo. And maybe now come to stillness. This can be great for activating your chakras. And if you have a bit of a headache, this can help. And I love to introduce some natural healing modalities into our practice. And now let's gently rise up and bring your block, if you have one, over to the other side. And we will start that hip opening movement now again. And when you're ready, you can let your knees come now to the left side. And again, we're going to tap into that swaying and rolling out motion. I'm actually going to move my blanket back so that I have earth connection, earth body connection. And one of the best aspects of our practice is just this attunement to our bodies, how we're feeling, the listening. Make this your own, trying different creative configurations to see what feels good. And when you're ready, maybe you wish again to surrender to Mother Earth all our fears and tears. She accepts without judgment, leaning into this yin-tang point. Letting go and surrendering. Nirvana is now. And when you're ready, we're going to rise back up. And we're going to slide our right knee under our left. So stacking your hips. I'm going to move over. I can see that I'm sitting in a sunbeam, which is great for me, but might not be so good for you if you're trying to see what I'm up to. Each of our bodies are going to be different. And if your hips are feeling, your hip girdle, your pelvic girdle is feeling tight today, this may be as far as you can go. So you might have a knee really pointing up. And some of you may have your legs down touching. Love your body wherever it is. This is now, we're sitting up and we're doing cow face pose, Gomukhasana. And this might be enough for you right here. Notice the sensation. And if you're starting to clench in your jaws, maybe reintroduce the jaw massage that we had at the beginning of our practice. Or if you wish to also engage your arms, you can bring one bird wing up next to your ear and also reach the other back. And you can do this also with a strap. So don't feel like your hands have to touch in this moment if they don't. And so if you're also introducing the bind, look up now and take a deep inhale. And now start to lean forward. And maybe your third eye, your yin tang point, gently rests on your knee. Or maybe it feels better to be seated upright. Breathe into the sensation in your body. And let's release the bind and bring our right hand to our left knee and our left arm behind us. And let's revolve and twist and wring out the untruths that others have told you or you have told yourself that hold you back from liberation, that make you suffer. Wring all of that out now. You are a perfect gift, just as you are. Nirvana is now. And let's come back to the center and gently bring the left leg to the ground and the right foot to the ground as well. And now we wish to stack our hips. So we're going to do the opposite side and tuck the left knee under the right. And now the right knee is on top. And your feet might be facing out. But let your body be in whatever shape is accessible to you today. Gomukhasana, cow-faced pose. And maybe you wish to stay here, or introducing the bind, left elbow comes up and right hand tucks behind your back. Again, you can use the strap if you wish. Inhale, look up, and exhale, you can start to fold forward. And on this side, as we have asymmetry, it will be a different experience. But notice wherever in your physical form you might be holding or clenching. And see if you can breathe into those sensations and release them. Inhale, let go of the bind. Left hand comes to right knee. And we're going to twist and wring out any untruths, the stories that we hold on to that cause us suffering all the untruths, let them go. Inhale and exhale, feel what you don't need flow down through your body and release into all the touch points of the earth. And the more that you can be present in this moment, the closer to achieving that feeling of liberation you will attain. And so now let's move out anything that we have from our space. Just push it away. You don't need any of this right now. And you can windshield wipe your legs a little bit again, just to release. You'll probably be feeling some intensity. And now turn to face the longer side of your mat or your practice space. And let's see if you can roll up to Malasana. So we're going to push ourselves up into our squat or garland pose. Very nice. Whatever version of this works best for you. And now we're going to start to lean your weight into your right foot and bring your hands to the ground and push your left leg back. Now inch your right foot forward. So we have come into lizard pose. Potentially it feels good to have your knee down and your foot flat. Or you can have your leg up and straight. Whatever feels best to you. And press your right knee out a little bit. You'll feel even more sensation. And now bring your left hand to the center of the mat and open your right arm up to the sky. Breathe here. And now bring both hands back to the ground. Right leg pops back and you're in plank. Feel the Agni or fire. You can roll around on your toes. A little quiver might be happening, and pop your left foot forward so that will stretch the left side of our lizard. Remembering your right knee can come to the ground if that feels better. Inhale and exhale into the hips. We store lots of emotions in our hips, so you may experience a release, even some tears. All healthy. And now bring your right hand closer under your face and open your left arm up, revolving lizard. And now both hands to the ground. See if you can pop your right foot forward and come back to Malasana. Very nice. Breathe here. And maybe your heels are touching the ground, or maybe you're up a little bit. Wherever your body is, settle here. Hands are together in prayer, if possible. And outer arms are pressing your inner legs open. Excellent. And now bring your hands to the ground and start to press your way up. Feet are going to come in together. And grasp opposite elbows, Uttanasana. Ragdoll your arms and do a gentle infinity signal. So your elbows will do a little bit of a dance together. Relax the back of your neck. Breathe into your hamstrings. Your knees can be bent. And now touch the earth. We're going to press back into plank again to get some heat. And do a little run in place. So knees to elbows. Again, awakening some fire, Agni. Knees to the ground. Open your hips wide and let yourself find your Balasana or child. Maybe on your exhale, let out an audible sigh as if you have just slipped into a very delicious place in your life. Enjoy the nirvana of now. Hands come by your face and come to come to tabletop. And just let your hips roll out, spiraling barrel movements. Releasing any tension from some of the postures that we have done. Circling maybe again to the infinity circle. Not sure if I can quite master that. And let your belly drop. Inhale, look up. And exhale, round your spine. Inhaling. Exhaling. And pressing back to downward facing dog. Let's let the heels pedal. Maybe you look under opposite elbow. Come up on your toes and down to the ground. Your heels lifting, rolling forward, and then letting your heels come down. And let's bring our left leg forward. In between your hands. And let your right knee find the ground and the right foot flatten. Pull yourself back. Your forehead leans towards your left knee. And then walk your way forward, inhaling, looking up. Gentle movement for the hip flexor. Very, very nice. And now tuck your right foot under so that you're coming back and swinging your left foot around to be in plank. Push up to downward facing dog. And now pop your right foot forward between your hands. You might have to help your leg. You can always inch it with your hands. And let your left knee gently find the earth and your left foot be flat. Spider walk back. Soft gaze and lean in towards your right knee. And then come forward. Deep inhale. Exhaling back. And inhaling forward again. Tuck your left toes under and pop your leg up. Let's come back to plank. We're building strength. And pressing up to downward facing dog. And this time we're going to open our arms wide and our legs wide. So just bring your legs out and you'll find yourself in standing forward fold, wide-legged. Breathe into the sensation in the inner legs. You can even take your hand and run it down the inside of your legs if that feels nice. Obviously, one hand at a time. And now start to lift up to a flat back and heel toe in a little bit. And sweep your arms up so you're coming up to that starfish position that we started in on our backs. Inhaling. And let's just let that starfish flow. Expansive. Reaching up to the sky, coming down and bending our knees. We are infinite beings. And this next time as you reach up, bring your hands together and clasp them and raise them up. Look up, slight back bend. And then release your hands and let the prana come down between them. You might even feel the warmth as your hands come down slowly in front of your body. And we'll sweep up again and fold forward, hinging at the waist until your hands find the earth. Left hand in front of your face, right arm goes up to the sky. Deep inhale, feel the strength in your body. And right hand comes down to the earth. Left arm comes up to the sky. Deep inhale. Bending the right knee. We're going to start to engage in Skandasana. Maybe you just wish to bring your hands to Anjali Mudra in front of your heart space. Or you can start to introduce an arcing dance, reaching one arm over to the side. until we come to stillness. And heel toe your feet in. We'll return down to the ground, similar to the way that we came up. So let's bring our feet slightly apart, hands to heart center, and see if you can sit back into Malasana or squat, releasing emotion in our hips. Hands come behind. Bring your knees in close and let's gently roll back, rolling out the spine. Our heads find the earth. Clasp your opposite elbows over your knees and love what your body can do for you. Press your sacrum, your lower back to the ground and flatten the back of your head. Open your arms wide and tuck your left leg over your right and let your legs fall to the right until the toes reach the ground. Keep your left shoulder on the ground and now look gently over your left shoulder. Notice how your body feels. And back to center. Maybe you wish to grab the outer edges of the feet for one last cow-faced pose. Unwrap your legs, hug them in, rolling out. And now right knee is going to come over left, arms to T, and let your legs roll in spinal twist over to the left. Right shoulder relaxes to the ground and look over to the right. Nirvana is now. Coming back to the center, maybe one last cow-faced pose. And let your legs come up. Grab your big toes with peace fingers. And just enjoy happy baby for a moment. Notice how you feel. Are you able to release any untruths or stories that you've been holding on to that aren't serving you? Can you liberate from some fear? And you just love the gift that is you, like a happy little baby. And when you're ready, you can bring your knees in close and love yourself. Wrap your arms around. Before you come back down gently to the earth in Shavasana. And for Shavasana today, if you're in a colder region, I would recommend you put your socks back on and, warmer clothing, and that you make yourself a nice, warm, cozy nest with blankets and pillows. So don't rush here. Take a moment. Maybe if you lit the candle from the beginning of class, you wish to bring the warmth of the fire close by but in a safe place. And we'll take a moment now to get ourselves ready for Shavasana. There's no hurry, no rush. In our yoga practice, all of our movement is gentle, without worry. And be very careful if you do have a candle and you're dealing with your blankets, that you're not too close to it. And if you liked the starfish pose from the beginning and that imagery of floating in the refreshing water and the safety of the ocean, the peacefulness of that floating sensation, you can spread your legs a little wider now for your final posture. And also you can do the same with your arms. This is a receiving posture. Hands are open, palms facing up. Or if you wish for a traditional version of Shavasana, you can bring your hands by your sides. And you can even also have your hands on your body, one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. So choose whatever is best for you. And if you got warm in our practice and you wish to sip a little bit of coolness, you can do crow breath with your open mouth and your tongue curled. So you make a little tongue curl like this, and you sip like a little straw through your open mouth. And I'm going to read to you a short passage from The Art of Living by Thich Nhat Hanh. Nirvana is now. By using mindfulness, concentration, and insight to transform our suffering, we can touch nirvana in the here and now. Nirvana is not some distant place in a distant future. Nirvana is a word that comes from an ancient rural dialect of India. In Buddha's time, as in many places around the world today, rural families would cook over a small fire made of straw, dung, wood, or even rice husks. Every morning, the first thing the mother would do is to light the fire to prepare breakfast for family members going to work in the fields. She would hold her hand above the ashes from the night before to see if they were still warm. And if they were, she would only need to add some straw or twigs to rekindle the fire. But if the fire has gone out, she would find the ashes were completely cold. After a fire has completely gone out, if you sink your hands into the ashes, it feels pleasantly cool. The Buddha used the word nirvana to describe the pleasant experience of cooling of the flames of our afflictions. Many of us are burning in the fire of cravings, fear, anxiety, despair, or regret. Our anger or jealousy, even our ideas about death and loss, can burn us up inside. But when we transform our suffering and remove our wrong ideas very naturally, we can touch a refreshing peace. This is nirvana. There is an intimate connection between our suffering and nirvana. If we did not suffer, how would we recognize the peace of nirvana? Without suffering, there can be no awakening from suffering. Just as without the hot coals, we cannot have the cool ashes. Suffering and awakening go together. As we learn to handle our suffering, we are learning to generate moments of nirvana. Nirvana does not have to be something big, something we spend a lifetime practicing for, hoping to one day experience. Each one of us can touch small moments of nirvana every day. Suppose you're walking barefoot and you accidentally step on a briar and a dozen thorns pierce your foot. Immediately you lose all peace and happiness. But as soon as you're able to remove one thorn and then another, you begin to get some relief, you get some nirvana. And the more thorns you remove, the greater the relief and peace. In the same way, the removal of afflictions in the presence of nirvana, the removal of afflictions is the presence of nirvana. As you recognize, embrace, and transform your anger, fear, and despair, you start to experience nirvana. And when you're ready, you can start to wiggle your fingers and toes and bring a little movement back to your physical body. And gently, being mindful if you have a candle lit, come to seated posture. And now, bring your hands over the flame, safe distance so that you feel a little warmth but you wouldn't get burned. And now, with care, blow out that candle flame. And feel the coolness. And we will seal our practice today with Nirvana Mudra. I'll show you this picture so that you can see the intended shape. Your body might get to this shape with more or less ease. Let's raise our left hand and bring our right hand facing down. So you can just kind of bring it opposite. And now we're going to twist our left hand around until the thumbs meet. And then turn your hands so that they come up. This one is a little tricky, and you'll see even my thumbs don't seem to be doing the same as the picture. But essentially all of your fingers are touching and your thumbs are facing away from you. Your shoulder blades are open and relax your shoulders. And now bring the tip of your head, that space, the yin tang point, your third eye, bring that to your fingertips. And lower your head into Nirvana Mudra. Reminding yourself that Nirvana is now. We'll close our practice with 3 sounds of the bell. May you find nirvana now. May you liberate from fear. May you cool the seeds of anger within and stay true. And thank you for sharing this practice together. Namaste.